Ki khubor ka bate si TV.
Ka umdi basnyam bat penjasliang. Rupa Premium Meghalaya. Bo, a specially designed machine that is stronger, faster, more powerful and fuel efficient. Contact Orange Automobile at 977-400-3555 or 961-584-7757.
U nangyalam kaliang persya u Dr. Mukul Sangma ha ka khadway tarik uluber arajar arpsan ula Takraiñ tinge ya ka Sorkar MDA halor ka jingkeno bakashuanra Kyrkieh ya ka Meghalaya State Investment Promotion and Facilitation Bill 2025 wat hapadeng ka jing persya ka bajur na kibabuan balang. Ha ka jingkran bat kilat patay kubor u Dr. Mukul ulong baka don kadaw ban artatin bat ban subas niyo bat ha ka jaka ban pentelun syakmat ya ka bil kaladei ban peneben ya ka Land Transfer Act bala don lupa bat ban pentikna ba kino ki kendon kimla ban syuyad lan halor ka khandau kasab jong kajalla.
Irrespective of what the government may think in as far as the approach adopted by the government is concerned, you already have a land which was conceptualized, debated, discussed upon, and eventually given the shape of an act through legislation of this August House to regulate transfer of land, the Meghalaya Land Transfer Regulation Act. Now, over and above that, any act that supersedes the mandate of that law which I referred to, obviously need to be looked at with certain amount of skepticism, suspicion, and concern will always be flagged. I think you must have seen in the House how the House has been witness to this concern about this approach of the government adopted. Now, see, in respect of Meghalaya, the land is something which is close to our heart, because the whole blessings of God also revolves around inheritance, and the inheritance also revolves around land. Thou shalt inherit the land. That is what the scripture says. Therefore, it is very important for us to see that the land that we were privileged and fortunate to have, I'm sure God has led our forefathers to this particular land, and that's how we inherited. Now, this land must be available for our generation next and next, for them to inherit and remain connected with their roots. What happens when people go outside, go beyond the boundaries of the state, go beyond the boundaries of the country, go abroad, become somewhere be in search of livelihood, or sometimes people do tend to become adventurous. They go outside other countries. But suddenly when there is a problem, if anything happens, you know what's happening all across the globe. Then suddenly they will remember their land, the root with which they're connected. That's why we must understand the importance of our responsibility towards ensuring that alienation of land from our people does not take place. That is precisely why, based on the mandate of the 6th schedule of the provision of the Constitution, the law in question has been already enacted, which is operational. Now, to have any law which supersedes the mandate of that law pertaining to transfer of land is definitely a matter of concern, and it is not inconsistent with the spirit with which we should look at our own responsibility towards protecting the interests of our own people. We must not forget that. That is the reason why, on behalf of the stakeholders, concerned civil society organizations are raising their voice. Government must take cognizance of this. We all must take cognizance of this and correct things in the right perspective. What somebody thinks may not be something which is inconsistent with what we think is right. That is where the spirit of democracy should operate. It would be very wrong for the government to bulldoze Because I saw this Amendment Act table, they have already enacted the law. Now, if you look at the proposed amendment to the Section 4, what does the section says? That the new subsection 1 shall be added as follows. The nodal agency will be responsible for promoting the investment ecosystem in the state and taking up all activities relating to setting up of industrial or service sector undertakings and the promotion of economic developments in the state. This includes conducting investment facilitation, events, roadshow across the country and internationally, creation of land banks through direct purchase of land or other means, which includes creation of land banks through direct purchase of land or other means. There are lots of ambiguity. You already are governed by another act which has been passed by the parliament. The fair compensation and transparency in the matters of land acquisition. This act also has been conceptualized in the right perspective, where the ownership over the land cannot be easily alienated through any intent of any authority and power through acquisition, etc., in the name of investment or public use. That's the reason why minimum land owners of certain percentage was put there, minimum 70% of the land owners. Not only that, the whole process of land acquisition is governed by certain relevant sections of Act which ensure the intent, the purpose in a very, very transparent manner, fair and transparent. So here, where is the question of fair and transparent? Land banks through direct purchase of land or other means. What is that other means? So there is a reason to have a sense of doubt, suspicion and apprehension. And that's why the government must avoid coming up with this kind of legislation. They should not take the people of the state for granted. Just because they are in numbers, it doesn't mean that they should take the House for granted also. Even the voice of few of the members of the August House must be actually taken cognizance of and must be given weightage in true spirit of respecting and honoring the sentiment of the people of the state. So this is a law which the government must avoid from further moving ahead, and the proposed amendment of the government also is subject to amendment by the August House. We have discussed with some members of our August House some amendment to this proposal. Rather, our intention should be to self this act and be governed by the existing act. Even there, certain provisions are there which has created alienation. Alienation of land can happen when the land is transferred in the name of any company. What happens if the company goes bankrupt? Then the whole company's law, including NCLT, shall operate. Then the auctioning process will start. So there are many other negative ramification vis-a-vis the ownership and the resultant alienation which will eventually happen because of the way law operates once it is transferred in the name of company and other things. So there should be stringent clause incorporated even in the existing law, the original principal law, Meghalaya Land Transfer Regulation Act, and design it in such a way that under the given situation, foreseeing all the challenges ahead, we know how to script the further amendment of the law in the right perspective that would protect the interests of our people. You have heard the members articulating this concern very eloquently with concern and seriousness, you see. So you have to understand why this issue is being articulated in the August House during our submission with a quantum of seriousness and concern, because you got to have the power of anticipation. If you do this, what is going to happen 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 50 years from now? So it is therefore our binding responsibility to see that we prevail upon friends amongst the responsible elected members, and good sense prevails in the larger interest of our people.